And that is why Cloud is hype.
What a story, Z-Fly. So, can I borrow your car?
What? No.
Okay, wait, I'll be right back.
Okay.
10 hours later.
Yo, check out this shirt.
Yo, that is a nice shirt.
Oh, you like it?
Yeah, where'd you get it?
Well, I got this shirt on intotheam.com, where they not only have graphic and basic tees, but also sweatpants, tank tops, and hoodies. Side note, but these are actually the most comfortable clothes I own. And if you use my code LarryLurr, you can get 10% off at checkout. And also on July 20th to the 25th, you can get up to 95% off plus new markdowns on everything. All right, so now that I'm wearing this sick shirt, can I borrow your car now?
Dude, no. I'm not gonna let you borrow my car just because you're wearing a sick shirt.
Fine, whatever. Hey guys, Larry here, and for today's video, I am going to be talking about the 5 most important characters in the current meta of Smash Ultimate. Let me start off by explaining that when I say the 5 most important characters, I don't mean that I think these 5 are the best characters competitively in Ultimate. I think these 5 characters are highly influential competitively, from either having a high usage rate at tournaments, how lopsided their matchups can be, how oppressive they are to play against, or some combination of the 3. For these reasons, I think they dictate more than any other characters how viable your characters are at major events. Don't forget to drop a like on the video if you enjoy this content and want to support the channel, and let me know in the comments what characters you think I'm going to list here. With that being said, let's get into the video. To start off the list, we have Steve. I thought it would be best to get the most obvious character out of the way, since he's largely considered to be the best character in the entire game, to the point that people have and are still discussing banning him. There are a lot of top and high level Steve players that attend big events and get great results with him. There are a lot of things that make Steve a great character. One of them being his block, which is one of, if not the best move in the game. It has so much versatility and can be used defensively and offensively. Offensively, he can use it to extend combos, edgeguard the opponent, or create setups to take stocks. Defensively, it can be used to help him recover, prevent him from being sent to the blast zone after being hit, or make it difficult for the opponent to approach. The last thing I said being one of the things that people dislike about him the most. He can pretty much put the match to a standstill, especially if you're a character that doesn't have a good way to remove blocks safely. The thing about it is that if you don't do anything, Steve will mine and get resources, which make him an even better character, as he can strengthen his tools, which improve his attack damage and kill power. So it's best to pressure him, but you have to do it carefully because he has one of the best combo games and amazing frame data on his attacks. It's definitely a matchup with a lot of nuances, and unless you exclusively attend Steve ban tournaments, it's going to be a matchup you need to learn. Sonic is another character that can prevent the opponent from interacting with him in a match. The thing about Sonic is that he has the fastest ground speed and the best burst option in the entire game. Normally when you hear someone say a character has those traits, they would expect them to have a rushdown playstyle, which Sonic can do incredibly well. The thing is though, he is a lot more effective competitively when he has a more turtle-like playstyle. The reason being, thanks to his high speed and burst options, most characters have an extremely hard time approaching him. So he can abuse that by keeping away from the opponent and using his speed to go back and forth across the stage. To make matters worse, while he's doing that, he can also rack up damage incredibly well, and if he doesn't get the hit he's looking for, he doesn't have to hard commit to an option and has strong mix-ups on top of this. A lot of matchups for Sonic come down to whether or not the opponent has the tools necessary to consistently catch him, or at the very least have a strong punch game for when they do. If the answer is no, then you most likely lose that matchup, and hard lose once you drop the lead against him, because it is easy for Sonic to not interact with you while still attacking. Even if you are playing a character that is good against Sonic on paper, you still have to be familiar with the matchup because Sonic has a deceptively high number of mix-ups that he can utilize, and if you're not ready for them, it's really easy for him to take advantage of you for it. Next, I will be talking about Rob. Rob is the character that has been a strong force since the start of Ultimate, and nothing has really changed. There's a lot of characters at any skill level, and he's one of the characters that has the highest win rate competitively. What makes Rob such an important character on top of how many of them there are is the fact that he has one of the strongest projectiles in the game that can also lead into a relatively easy to pull off 0 to death combo. You need to know how to work around the gyro, because if you don't, it's going to be so easy for Rob to take your stocks off no matter where you are on stage. You also need to know what moves of Rob's you have to respect. Neutraler has a noticeable amount of startup, but has a very disjointed hitbox and is incredibly safe on shield. His down tilt is one of the fastest down tilts in the entire game, making it impossible to react to, on top of the fact that it has ridiculously low cooldown and is one of the safest ground moves on shield. So just to restate what I said, a character that has one of the best projectiles in the entire game also has one of the best moves at close range. He's a really strong character. Fortunately, he can struggle with being juggled and comboed thanks to his large hurt box and struggling to get out of disadvantage depending on the matchup. Kazuya is one of the scariest characters to fight against in the current meta due to how strong his kill capabilities are. He has a touch of death combo that he can consistently perform on most characters in the game and has multiple ways to do it reliably. He can get off a grab, an aerial, one of his tilts, or from his best attack, Electric Wind Godfist. Electric Wind Godfist is one of the best moves in the entire game and is a centralized part of Kazuya's game plan. This is because, as an attack, it can do just about everything you would want it to do. It's completely intangible on the first frame the hitbox is active, which means it can go through any move. If it hits, it could lead into just about anything, including a move that can be comboed into yet another Electric Wind Godfist. It knocks the opponent out of their shield and is positive so Kazuya can act first. It also does a decent amount of shield damage. On super heavies, there's a chance this move will trip them if they shield it, which gives Kazuya enough time to land another Electric Wind Godfist on them. Aside from having an amazing combo game, Kazuya also has some of the best kill power in the entire game, so he does not need to do much damage to take a stock. You would think that due to Kazuya having a frame 7 jump squat along with below average run and dash speed, that he would hard lose to projectile zoners or characters that are fast enough to run away from him. While he does have losing matchups, it's not as many or as bad as you would think. His command dash gives him the ability to close the gap on the opponent pretty well, while also having intangibility on his upper body, allowing him to go through a lot of projectiles. He also has a reflector with the highest reflecting multiplier in the game, so he has some pretty good answers to zoners. It's also not as easy for most characters to run away from Kazuya as you would think. Most of his attacks are intangible. He has a move that knocks you out of shield and leaves him positive if you shield it, and in general, even if he's not comboing you, he does a good amount of damage, and he does not need that much damage to kill you. In the current meta, he's a really strong secondary or co-main, and is a character a few top players have used for counterpicks. Last but not least, we have Mr. Game & Watch. Game & Watch, in my opinion, is one of the best, if not the best, pocket character in the entire game and arguably the best counterpick character. What makes him so good is how restrictive he is to other characters. He has the best out of shield option in the entire game with his up special. It comes out on frame 3, which is the fastest out of shield option there is in Ultimate, has a really good hitbox, and can lead to combos. He has the best juggling in the game thanks to his massive neutral air hitbox that combos into itself and sends the opponent above him, having an up air that covers a massive range from above and also keeps the opponent above him, and having a really good dash grab and dash attack to cover landings on top of an up smash that is invincible, pretty safe on shield, and difficult to whiff punish. His edge guarding is great because of his disjointed, strong, and active hitboxes, and the ability to go super far off stage and still make it back. His neutral special gives him a really good ledge trapping and 2-framing option that can also combo into kills. Thanks to all of these things, he has one of the best matchup spreads in the entire game and an easy to follow game plan across most matchups. There are a lot of characters in this game that lose to Game & Watch, and if they do, he's most likely their worst matchup, or at the very least, one of their top 5 worst. And that is it for this video. Reminder to drop a like as well as sub if you enjoy the content, it helps me out a lot. And let me know down in the comments if there is anyone you would add or remove on this list. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.